Umejilipa? Yes, you. I'm talking to you who's looking at me right now. Umejilipa? That is the one question I'm going to ask you this year. My name is Rena Hicks. I'm the operations director at FIDA Investment Bank and the founder of MoneyWise. Those of you who've been walking a journey with me on MoneyWise and my passion to just have people become financially literate know that I ask this question a lot. Umejilipa? Those of you who are not Swahili speakers, that just means, have you paid yourself? And we are going to break down what that means and what that looks like. Because guys, wacha tujilipe. We have to pay ourselves first. So ask your neighbor, Umejilipa? Ian, Umejilipa?
Umejilipa.
Umejilipa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nantajilipa tena.
What are we talking about? This end month?
Yes.
Mimi pia. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? We are basically translating what is called pay yourself first. And pay yourself first means what? Every time I get my salary, and I usually say for the salaried people, majority of the salaried people don't pay taxes.
They don't pay taxes?
They don't pay taxes.
Okay,
taxes
yeah,
are taken away from them.
That's true.
Which is different. By the time we get our salary, the taxes have gone.
They're gone, yeah.
So instead of paying, they take it before even they pay us. That is the first person we end up, quote unquote, paying.
That's true.
The second person, if you don't have your own house, you pay the landlord. The next person, you pay maybe a house help. You pay the grocery person.
Naivas.
You pay the entertainment joint that you go to. You pay your tithe, which is very important. But at the end of it, all these people, you've been working for other people the whole month.
Yeah.
Then you end up with nothing. Because even that juice you go, you're actually paying that person who has produced the juice.
You know, there's this saying
that
people tell me a lot.
Yes.
Rina, wacha nipigie mwili pole.
Pole.
And they think that's kujilipa.
Yes.
Is that kujilipa kweli?
No. That is actually paying the other people, the people you've been working for. And you've not paid yourself. You've not paid yourself. Until you decide that from today, a certain percentage, you don't have to start big. And I'll take you back to, I'll go the religious ways. There's one time I was told, even if tithe is 10%, and you don't pay even a single cent, you don't have to start with 10%. You can build your capacity.
That's true. You
can start to say, okay, I've not been doing 10%, I'll do 2%. The next month, I'll do 3%. The next month, I'll do 4% to reach your goal. The same way, I'll borrow that same narrative and say that you can start that way with your own savings. And you can say, yes, I earn 100,000, but I pay 40,000 in loans. 30,000 goes in taxes. I'm left with 30,000. My house is 15,000. So my maybe groceries is 6,000 or something. The money that I'm left with is still small. You don't have to do 10, 20%. You can start with something small. You can say that, okay, I do 0. 2% is a step in the right direction. So you can start with 2,000. The next month you increase. Then you look at where can I either reduce my expenses or where can I increase my income. Then you start growing to a certain goal. But remember, if a goal is not written down, it never existed.
Yeah.
So please write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. And I, you know, one of the things that I find people forget is that there is tomorrow. And tomorrow being a year from now, 2 years from now, we assume, I did. When I was in my 20s, I used to say, you know, this money I earn is so little anyway.
Yes.
Right? So let me just blow it. Let me enjoy it. I've worked so hard anyway, you know, so let me just enjoy it. It's so little anyway. Yes. Another thing I used to tell myself is, as I grow older, as I get more certifications, as I get more experience, guess what happens to my income? It just does this. And so this thing of stressing and denying myself right now, why do I need to do all of that? Let me enjoy now. And then when I'm 35, 40, when my income is higher,
you can start saving.
I can start saving. Tell me about your experience with that. Well, in terms of, do you find that it's easier now in your 40s to put money away?
I'll say, I'll take it to what is called the rat race.
Okay.
There's always something better. My life experience, no matter what, there's always something better. What happens is, You don't have a car. You're walking on foot. So who do you admire? The person with a bicycle. The time you buy a bicycle, you realize now your friends have motorbikes. Then you're like, I can't stay with a bicycle. I have to buy a motorbike. Then people buy cars. You're like, as far as I have a family, as far as I buy a car that moves me from point A to point B,
I'll be
I
so
don't
happy.
care. I'll be so happy. And you'll go and get an Alto, and you're okay. And you'll be okay, and you'll celebrate for the first 6 months. I'm telling you, your friends will change. And the next person has an Axio. You're like, what are you doing with this toy? So you want to upgrade to an Axio.
Yeah.
And that thing never stops.
It never does.
It never stops. Personally, I'll give my confession. I remember when I moved from one job to another job.
Yeah.
And that job, because of the title, people told me, don't worry about the car I drive. They told me, that's not the car for that position.
Right.
And I found myself, because I did not have the money, I found myself going to from showroom to showroom, and I saw the car that I wanted. And actually I went and talked to the bank, and they told me my repayments. And then I looked at the repayments, and I asked myself, what is wrong with me? Why do I have to change the car that I have? Is my car serving me right? Yes. Is it able to move me from point A to point B? Yeah. Is there any problem with that car? It can go to Mombasa, it can go to Kisumu. But why am I upgrading my car? Actually, majority of the times I say, we work so hard to please people who don't even maybe like us. So,
and who don't care.
And even who don't care.
Have their own issues.
They have
and challenges.
Exactly. So that's why we are saying you have to slow down on the rat race. You have keeping up with the Jones. You have to slow down on that and take care of your future rather than your present.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, some time back, I love this website called calculator.net because it just gives you the ability to play with numbers.
Yes.
And so they have very many calculators,
Yes.
different ones. And one of the ones that they have there is an investment calculator.
Yes.
And I remember once just playing around with those numbers, and I put in, if I saved 5,000 shillings every month at a rate of 10% per annum,
Yes.
net, what would I have? And I just did several years. I remember when I put about 35 years on 5,000 shillings, I ended up with 17.8 million. I did this with 6,500. It's 22 million. I'm just like, you don't need a lot of money.
Yes.
Like this consistent putting away money over and over and over as much as you can. Of course, over time, it's like magic. And like with the 5,000 example, that 5,000, when you do 5,000 times 35, well, times 12 times 35,
Yes.
you end up with 2.1 million.
Yeah.
The rest, 15.7,
It's compounding.
imagine.
It's compounding. The power of
compounding.
Compounding and interest.
Yeah. So you have all this time, and because it's compounding over the years, it's like magic.
True.
And so guys, Jilipe. And we have amazing products for you that can help you kujilipa. As in when you jilipa, there's places will help you to put that money. We have a fantastic product I want us to talk about next, where even if it is 1,000 bob that you have and you're like, Aki, that 500,000 for Oak Special Fund I don't have. We're like, it's okay. We will build to that. In the meantime,
Yes.
Jilipe, here it comes. Thank you.